Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to another episode of Glory Hunter. In today's episode, we have got FC Nantes away from home in a massive game in the league. If you are enjoying the content, do give it a like, do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and without further ado, let's get into it. With it being said, Nantes are currently equal points of us. We're ahead on goal differences. We've scored 10 more goals. And we do have a game in hand on OJ Nice and PSG. A win today will see us go equal with PSG, but are top of the table on goal difference and what is shaping up to be quite a season. I'm firstly going to start by recapping recent results since we last met, of course, as well, which was the OJ Nice and Lille game, I do believe. We drew 0-0 to Lille, 1-1 to Lille, and then beat OJ Nice, who are currently ahead of us as well. And since then, we beat Lyon 5-0 in an absolute drubbing. When I mean a drubbing, I mean when this 4-2-3-1 is on and the press is on, teams can't deal with how hyper-pressing it is. In this game here, it was, you know what, I'm just going to show you the goals. It was the best performance in this 4-2-3-1 by a mile. And this is a very good Marseille side with some good players in Kunku. Their left-back's the best left-back in the league, Papadimitriou, or whatever the Cypriot name is. This turn-on crosses, by the way, telling these guys right now, turn crosses more often on for your tactics to get them to cross the ball more. It's great. Cross the ball more often. As you can see, cross the ball more often. Ball out wide. Batunja bang. Aristobal goal. 2-0. Thank you very much. We are scoring a few set pieces as well this season, which is great. We're scoring from set pieces. Yuri Tielemans bumping finish. 3-0. Love to see it. Another set piece goal. Yes, I don't mind indeed when Anal decides to stretch his head and pop one in. But it's the movement and the absolute vision of fullbacks. Like Pellegrini gets to an area where we normally don't cross it. Besser at the back, Batunja at the back stick scores. I think Besser scores in a couple games in that similar situation. But as you can see, it's just next level. It's fantastic. And you're thinking, oh, but you can't play this system all the time, Damien. You're going to get pumped. You're going to concede goals. 4-2-3-1, 5-0. 4-2-3-1 at home to Spurs. 1-3-0. 4-2-3-1 away at EA Guniak, 2-0. 4-2-3-1 against Reims, 3-0. Now, when you do play up against a very good side and they get on top of you, you do get caught. Played against Man United, copped an absolute drubbing, lost 3-0. We then played Rennes, we drew 2-1, and then unfortunately we kind of ran out of steam there and drew 1-1 to Montpellier, rotating, because I had Barcelona in the Champions League. But even against Barcelona, they were a very good side, and Barcelona probably had us in the 4-2-3-1 at times. An 89th minute goal cost us what would have been a famous win. So, without further ado, in the Champions League phase, we're actually after 6 games played on 11 points. My next game is West Ham, and then I have a very, very easy game to finish off against, it's a very, very low-rated club. Puskas Academy, that's it. Which kind of puts me in a position, as long as I beat Puskas, which I should, I'm qualifying for the Champions League round anyway. If I somehow beat West Ham and then beat the Puskas Academy both away from home, we might even sneak into the top 8. So that's a pretty good result. Now, I want to recap one thing, and that is the dropped points here. RC Lens dropped points here. If you have a look at the team here, rotated side. But I will say Blessa, by the way, I wanted to bring him up. I thought he scored in that game. He didn't. He's scoring backstick, crosses, headers, you name it. In 12 games, 8 off the bench, 4 starts, 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 goal contributions in 12 matches. And in the Champions League as well, averaging a 6.88 mostly off the bench is pretty good, which means having a 7.09 overall and a 7.18 in the league. I'm taking it every time. And he is fast growing into a guy that is hitting this potential. When you look at him as an inverted winger on attack, that 20 flair, that off the ball, and that pace and the technique is just next level. Hopefully you see it today in today's episode, because Batrunia's been a little bit legless, and if he's not 100% fit, he won't start. But see, drop points here. You saw the game against Lille. They're a good side. We played very well. We got slightly FM on a different day. We scored more chances. That's one of those ones where you drop points and go, okay, whatever. The other drop point in the season is with Montpellier. We've rotated side before a big game. So 2 of the 3 times we dropped points, we've played our reserve side, which tells you that the tactic is actually in a pretty good spot at the minute, proven by the good results when the first team plays. The first team itself is in a very good spot at the minute, but when you look at the rotated side, for instance, we're probably lacking just a little bit. You know, Goretzka's getting probably a bit old. This is his last season, mate, renewing his contract. Emery's still fine. Blessa's okay. Pablo Torre's okay. Pulisic is leaving, which I'll talk about in a second. But Jonathan David, by the way, starting up top instead of Boyer. But you're probably looking at it and going, we're just like that touch of quality to see out results. And it might be buying a better centre mid for Goretzka. It might be going in and saying Pablo Torre at times been fantastic. Maybe moving him out wide and buying a better 10. Stuff like that. Improve it just slightly, which makes our bench a little bit better and puts me in a very good position. Now, without further ado, let's go and talk about Pulisic here quickly. He came to me and said, I want to leave because I've achieved everything at the club. Had a year left on his deal. And I kind of said, look, do you want to stay? Because I want to use bench depth. And he goes, I want to win the league. And I was like, all right, if we don't win the league this season, I'll let you leave. So I went and offered him a contract. At the same time, he then said, I want to leave on a free. So I was like, well, that's not happening. So I transferred this to 14.5 mil. And I think it was, before I look, Valencia or Espanyol. There we are, Valencia, there we go. That picked him up, so there we are. So he's going to leave us as well. So that's extra 14 mil. I've got 104 mil without that money in the transfer budget. So in January, considering that this is our last league game before the January window, I think it's now time that we start eking a little bit more money into this club. We're in the Champions League. We're more than likely getting out. We're more than likely probably win that first knockout round game, depending who we draw. And that puts me in a position where, okay, you're going to recoup some money. So I think this is the season where we really go bang. Let's go build that bench up a bit better. And if we don't win the league and we don't win the cup this season, I think next year we bang on for it. Because look, PSG. I am going to just note that OJ Nice have been fantastic. The only real loss in the league's come to me here and to FC Lorient out of the blue. Outside of that, been absolutely fine. They pumped Anderlecht 11-0. So yeah, they can score goals. And PSG, for those that are wondering, yeah, they're very good. They just dropped points to OJ Nice in a game that they both just drew. They're actually struggling slightly in the Champions League there as well, and they have dropped the occasional point here and there, but they're doing enough to be top of the table. So it is what it is. I will always say though, this 4-2-3-1 that they play leaves them vulnerable to BFM. So it is what it is. Now we're going to do that, but Twitter's not 100%. So you are going to see Blessa today as well. And your team is going to be Markovic, Vanderson, Anil, Kim, Min, Jay, and Becker. Can I just say Becker, best left back in the league. This guy on cross more often. He's only got 3 assists, but even when he crosses a ball and we don't score direct from his cross, it's a ball that's of quality that gets only headed out to outside the area to us to pick up again and go again and stuff like that. He's fantastic, this mover. Diambu's been fantastic. Yuri Tielemans has actually dropped a little bit more in speed than I would have liked and is starting to turn slightly into a Goretzka sort of thing, where a very good player mentally and technically, but has lost too much pace that he's actually declining quite regularly. It may be a case that I actually go after a pretty world-class first choice option there in the middle of the park and move Tielemans to a bit more of a bench role, or I start actually getting Emery to play a touch more, because I actually think that this guy is pretty ready to go in and do that. It might be that is the case instead as well, but wait and we'll see. Yuri Tielemans in there. Blessa will move to inverted winger on attack to prefer him the role. Aristobal, for those wondering, is developing fantastically. He's having a not bad year at 7.44, but I will just say, his last 5 games, a few poor performances before a pretty good game against Barcelona, so hopefully that continues. Gaubert, by the way, wanted by Bayern Munich and Dortmund. If you want to see why, he's flares up to 19. He's now got his acceleration up to 16. He's now an elite attacking midfielder with 4 stars. So the choice to keep in and let him play has been fantastic. His form this season has been unreal. 5 goals, 2 assists, and 7.22 with 2 playing in the matches. So that is 7 goal contributions in 12 games, 11 starts. So maybe we're looking at a bit better a return. But in the Champions League, he's averaging a 7.06 with 3 assists. So he's not too bad. He's been doing very well. Soler, the lucky last one up top. We might even go after a world-class striker here, maybe is the case. He's having a pretty good year there, 13 goals and 14, so I don't think we need to. But, if I'm looking at star rating, which you never really should, you should really look at how the players play. The key spots to upgrade would probably be Yuri Tielemans and then Ryan Soler. Tielemans I can understand. Soler is one of those that is scoring very well, and yeah. But I will say the recent form of us, it's because we've been rotating a bit. The form hasn't been quite there of late. But we've been playing well, and I actually think the tactic's really good. Now, let's get into this game. A win here puts us back top of the table. Be short of fitness is Goretzka, but realistically, he's just playing less and less and less. Now, what I will say, and famous last words before FC Nias do pump me, is A, this is the first game I played in the 4-2-3-1 was against them away from home, and against this 4-4-2, we pumped them. B, we won 2-1, but we absolutely pumped them off the park, or 3-2, one of the two. B, the second thing is, from what I've seen when we play against a 4-4-2, which the AI seems to be using a lot more now on FM since the latest update, this 4-2-3-1, in famous last words, seems to press it out immaculately because such high numbers, they find it hard to get through the press there because it's two flat lines and we're pretty good. Now, without further ado, if this is the highlight from kickoff, look, I'm going to leave it just because it's a potential highlight from kickoff. As they go long into a channel, we headed it away run as far as Talis Mango. I will need to move Blessa into an inverted winger role, and then we're good to go here. Mango, Bergwijn, back to Samu, ball over the top there. Gakpo looked offside. Referee said he wasn't. That's a goal. I reckon we're 1-0 down inside 30 seconds there. Well, that's a highlight from kickoff with them putting a ball over the top. We've been caught cold. That's going to count. Well, that's fun. After all saying that we press it out, we've been caught cold. I will just say it's a highlight from kickoff. They generally go in. Gakpo rolls off Kim Min-jae and yeah, that's not good. Markovic can't really do too much. One shot, one attack, one goal. I wish it was like that every time. But we'll see what happens here. Is Janelle now plays Samu, who plays Talis Mango. Talis Mango now into Pavlovic, into Barim, into Cody Gakpo. Finding it hard to squeeze here, which is not good. But there we are. Becker wins it. He's fantastic. And he goes and continues his run. Roman Galbert makes a good run now. And here he goes into the area. Needs some help. Cuts it. Soler was brought down. Referee. Should be a penalty here. Soler was absolutely mauled in the box. Was brought down before he could knock it inside the 6-yard box. Look, FM won't send him off here. But I really think the defender is not paying any intention to play the ball. Double jeopardy only applies if there is intention to play the ball. I think he's realised what's happening. He's just gone through him. I think that's arguably red card because it's denying a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity with clear intent. But anyhow, not even a booking because it's FM. Yuri Tillman steps up from the spot, sends the keeper the wrong way, and even though he's declining in ability in terms of being able to run, he's still got the world-class ability to slot the ball in the back of the net and pick passes. And while he does that, he still plays for us here at AS Monaco. We now get it back to 1-1 inside 8 minutes. Saw the press, saw the movement of the fullback. The 4-2-3-1 when it's on, it is on. The only thing I will say is get stuck in. We do cop a few more bookings than what's needed, and I might actually turn that off. I start doing that now as Becker heads just over. I actually start doing this a lot now out of possession, get stuck in off, especially when I'm on topping games. Probably done it slightly early here, probably should have left it because we're behind, but I don't want to pick up too many bookings. But yeah, once we're on topping games, I try and turn it off so then you don't cop it. Yuri Tielemans, I've just said that he's getting a bit old, might need to take him out of the squad. He's got a brace, lads. He's got a brace. Free kick outside the box, the world-class quality to step up and go, I'm going to just put this top bin. Keeper's B, even though it's a weird animation where he doesn't dive and he kind of falls over here. Yeah, don't know what that is. But we lead 2-1 and turn a 1-0 deficit into 2-1. Highlight from kickoff. And if you do remember the game against FC Nice last year, we won 3-2. They kind of just scored out of nothing with any highlight they got. Like, they had a deflected cross that Markovic forgot he could jump for. And man goes in, and that should be a goal. Markovic, what a save. And does just save it, parries it back into the striker, who cannot control it, and it's a goal kick. So great start from Markovic. Even game, lacking a little bit of control, but I do expect our press to win out eventually. Yuri Tielemans set piece. Whips the ball back. Blessa's there, unfortunately, heads over. I never remember what his height is, but he looks like such a big boy. He's 6'1". Yeah, he's beautiful at the back stick. I'm telling these guys right now that wherever I go to next, as long as I got the money, he's like my Roman Tisney. The guy I brought through AC Milan was training, going, this guy's going to be really good, and then paid whatever money it is to make him the first team regular at Newcastle. I'm going to do the same thing with Blessa. I think he's the same sort of guy. I think he's fantastic. Anyway, Bergwijn hits. Markovic, what a save. World-class save from the keeper. And then it's headed over the bar. What a save from Markovic. What a strong left hand. He might arguably be the best goalkeeper we have used in the save. And lucky last, Tielemans with a set-piece back stick. Cleared away, but only as far as Blessa. Good touch. Back to Tielemans. He can whip one. He goes back instead there to Diambu. Becker can go out the other way to Vanderson. And here he goes, driving into the space. Needs an option. He went for goal and was massively wide with not at all any ability to find the back of the net from there. Look, even game to be said. We're starting to eat possession, starting to get maybe a little bit more on the press, which is great. I'm going to tell them it was a pretty good first half because after going 1-0 down, things can definitely change. Cody Gakpo looks a little bit dead and they're starting to lose a little bit of fitness, so maybe in not a bad spot. As Tielemans bits the ball, but only cleared as far as Vanderson. Now, recycling the ball has been decent this year, but that is not good. as Taylor's Mango picks that one up, and here they come on the break. Vanderson steps on him but doesn't win it. Bergwijn now. Diambu on the press. Brilliant. And you saw... Okay, never mind. Blessa gave it away. Odd. He's pretty good. Should be our ball there with Min Jae. And Vanderson knocks down that Anel very well. But you saw the original press. 3 guys forced their turnover. That's a ball and a half. And Blessa can get going here. Poor touch again from the Brazilian. I've banged him up and he's having his worst game in a Monaco shirt. And then we're going to concede because of Blessa. Not like this game. Well, I banged him up. He's been fantastic. And 2-2. What has the Brazilian done? He's been so good. Every highlight in the match has been so clean. You're going to have to take my word on it, guys, that he's been fantastic. Because he's been absolutely shocking here. 2-2 thanks to a defensive mistake by Blessa. We've been defensively pretty good, but this has been atrocious. And here we are. Long throw, we don't even track that. Gakpo's having a field day. Look, Cody, could you do this for Liverpool in real life? Thanks, mate, where you just start scoring goals for fun. Block falls back to Gakpo, who lays it back to Bookman, and we're going to try and get the press on. Force him long, should be Vanderson's ball. Blessa needs to win. And does, and there's a good touch and a good pass back. But we need more from that from him. We need him to start getting that 20 flair and start going and at people. Becker now. Ball down the line was on the Roman Galbert. He turns out and plays. Now he needs to get on his bike and get beyond. Break the line. You're just inviting the press, man. His fault for him not making a movement allows KK to pick in the position where he can pick it up. Anyway, good press. We force the keeper long. We win it. Blessa now. Holds it up. Yuri Tielemans. What a ball to Soler. Does he finish? No, he doesn't. Galbert's picked up a knock and looks dead. Blessa's had a stinker. Jonathan David on one side. I'm actually going to bring in Toure as an advanced playmaker and support. I can't play that role. But Shunya's not 100%, but he's going to go out there as an advanced playmaker there on support. Try and create out here. Because Blessa's had a stinker. Tielemans, as much as had a good game, is dead, so we're going to do that. Vanderson's had a stinker. I'm actually going to... Quinton Timbo's been pretty good in this right-back role as well out there. 70 minutes played. XG of 2, only 2 goals, which we're scoring our exact XG, but you know that teams usually outperform their XG. So is there going to be a highlight here late doors? Doesn't look like it. This is a pretty atrocious performance from us. Time's ticked away. Not even looking like there's going to be a highlight here. 5 minutes about a time. Is there something, Football Manager? Apparently not, and it's 2-2. That is absolutely disappointing. That's a horrid result. It's another set of drop points. We've been good. We've turned on the camera, and there we go. We're 2 points behind, and that's probably the league over in this season. That has not been good enough at all. Yeah. Aristobol's now out for 1 to 3 days. I'm just going to put it in there. Can you tell when I've loaded FM back up today? I haven't won since I've come home from work. Before work and yesterday. Come home from work, 3 draws. We may not win a game tonight. Well, that I would sit here and play. Anyhow, that's it done. That's the end of the episode. Very disappointing. Hopefully we go out there and do a better job. Things become a little bit better here and we don't start this happening. But yeah, we've been fantastic all year, but our last 3 games, 3 draws. Sometimes when you load up FM, it just doesn't want you to have a good night. And it seems like that night is tonight. Till next time, see you guys next time. That makes sense. Link down below. Follow us. Give us a like. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Until next time, keep well, thank you, and goodbye.